All right, howdy, boys and girls. This is Brian here, also known as OCD Mindful. And today I just wanted to make a short video all about trying so hard to get better. When we're talking about mental health, this doesn't work so well. This isn't something we can force or push or will to get better. And we're so geared in our society to believe that the more you want something, the more you work for it. If you work for something, you can attain it. And that mindset is true with most things. If I want to become a better guitar player, I practice more. If I want to learn a subject or a different language, I study more, I study harder. If I want to work out at the gym and get bigger muscles, I work out more, I eat more. Unfortunately for mental health, this is pretty much the polar opposite of the advice that you want. If you were even vaguely familiar with any of the Buddhist philosophy, and not that I'm a Buddhist, even though I'm a certified mindfulness instructor and I teach meditation, you don't have to be Buddhist to appreciate and understand and learn from the philosophy that you find in a lot of the old Buddhist traditions. But one of the core tenets of the entire Buddhist faith, if you want to call it that, is the statement that suffering is desire, and the elimination of suffering is the elimination of desire. And so I have found in my own practice that this is entirely true, especially with things like anxiety, things like grief, things like shame, depression, these things that we experience that we want so desperately to be gone that we're willing to do anything. I mean, so many people have reached out to me, so many people that I work with now, that I'm willing to do anything. I'll do exposure response prevention for 10 hours a day if it means that I can get rid of this. I don't have to experience this ever again. And that really is the wrong attitude. And this makes it really difficult to get people to jump on board, because it's like, well, why would I be doing any of this work? Why even start a meditation process? Why do exposure response prevention if I don't have the goal of getting anywhere? Well, if I can tweak that just a little bit, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Certain things I think are worth repeating, probably on almost every video I make. If you want to be goal-oriented about overcoming anxiety or about attaining more freedom from anxiety, the goal there simply should be to habituate to the anxiety itself. Okay, not to get to a certain point, not to provide an answer or a certainty for my OCD sufferers out there. I'm watching a little crazy cat. This is Saru. It's a monkey. Okay, go ahead. So really the goal there, the focus of the goal, if you're doing exposure response prevention, is simply to habituate to the anxiety. It doesn't mean that we're looking for that next level of relief that comes from that, which is for OCD people, that I don't ever have to experience the doubt anymore, or all my answers will be solved, or I will always have that just right feeling. And that is why, if you take it even a step further into the mindfulness practice, it really should be learning how to be accepting of whatever is happening in the current moment. So if you're experiencing anxiety, we learn to make room for it. We learn to invite it in. to allow it to be there exactly as it is, to stick around as long as it wants. Same thing with any emotion. It doesn't have to be a negative emotion. We learn to not cling to or strive for or desire for anything. And this is why I'm such an advocate of the mindfulness practice, is because you see this stuff when you start to do it. When you actually start the practice, instead of just hearing about it or reading about it, doing it and recognizing that these feelings that seem so unbearable are actually not unbearable. They're totally tolerable. And right now, what we're trying to work with is your intolerance for experiencing these things. So by allowing them to come in, by not forcing them out, by stopping, looking for the answer, looking for relief, waking up every day and going, am I back to normal? Is this OCD thing gone? Is my anxiety gone? Is my depression gone? Whatever it is, constantly looking for it is a form of desire that unfortunately tends to keep people locked in to the cycle. And so it took some practice, but when I finally got to that point where I stopped looking, I stopped worrying about whether I was making progress, I actually started to find real relief, genuine relief. And that's how it goes with mental health. The harder you're trying to fix your problems, the reality is the worse your problems are going to tend to get for most people. And so practicing patience, recognizing that this stuff does take time and it does take actual practice, I really cannot recommend highly enough that people learn how to meditate, and not just learning how to sit and breathe, because there's thousands of books on the principles and the theory and the philosophy behind the mindfulness practice. Things that have been around for thousands of years that now, authors in the West are basically just hijacking and claiming they are their own ideas and putting them in OCD books. This stuff has been around forever. All right, guys, feel free to shoot me an email. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, learning how to become more mindful, learning how to do exposure response prevention for your particular brand of OCD, and a million other things in between, shoot me an email. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and leave a comment if you would. I'd appreciate it. And I will catch you next time.